Have you ever felt that love, instead of lifting your spirit, weighs heavily on your heart, leaving you questioning its promise of happiness? As a chosen one, your journey through love is unlike any other. A sacred odyssey marked by trials, growth, and an intensity that can feel like both a gift and a curse. You don't offer love lightly. It pours from you in waves of depth, purity, and unwavering devotion. Yet that very passion often invites heartache, solitude, and lessons too profound for most to grasp. This message is for those who've carried the quiet ache of love's trials, not as a sign of fragility, but as proof of a destiny far greater than the ordinary. If these words find you at the exact moment your soul craves them, whisper 1111 in the comments, a beacon of cosmic synchronicity. Hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay tethered to insights that ignite your spirit. Now prepare to uncover the 8 reasons why love, for a chosen one, weaves more suffering than solace. Dive in with me. Let's explore what sets your heart apart. Reason 1. You love at a deeper frequency. For those marked as chosen ones, love transcends the ordinary. It's not merely an emotion, a fleeting spark, or a casual bond. It's a sacred spiritual voyage, a profound communion that stretches far beyond the tangible world into realms of energy, soul, and the ethereal unknown. When you love, it's not a surface-level connection tethered to someone's outward traits, their charming words, their fleeting gestures, or their polished persona. No, your love dives deeper, piercing through the masks people wear to touch the raw, unfiltered core of who they are. You sense their essence, the silent sorrows they bury, the stories they've never dared to voice, the jagged wounds they shield from prying eyes. Your love resonates on a frequency so rare, so potent, that it becomes a transformative force, a vibration that hums with divine intensity, weaving threads of connection most can't even perceive. Unlike others who drift into relationships built on practicality, convenience, fleeting physical allure, or the whims of momentary passion, you crave something far more enduring. Your heart yearns for the sacred, the unshakable, the kind of bond that feels eternal, as though it were written in the stars. This isn't just affection. It's a calling, a pull towards something vast and meaningful that defies the shallow currents of the everyday world. You don't settle for half measures or tepid exchanges. Your love is a river, deep, forceful, and unyielding, carving its path through the landscapes of the soul. But herein lies the paradox. This extraordinary depth, this gift of loving so completely, often isolates you. In a society conditioned to skim the surface, where connections are forged in haste and discarded with ease, your intensity feels like a solitary beacon in a sea of indifference. It's a bittersweet truth that the love you pour out so freely, without restraint, without reservation, rarely finds its echo. You offer a devotion that shakes the spirit awake, a love that demands presence and authenticity, yet the world isn't always prepared to meet you there. Too often you're met with blank stares, half-hearted responses, or worse, silence. People might bask in the warmth of your affection, drawn to its glow like moths to a flame, but few possess the capacity to reflect it back with the same fervor. They may admire the way you love, marvel at its purity, even lean into its comfort, but matching it, that's a rarity. Your heart becomes a lighthouse, shining brightly for those who sail by, yet standing alone against the crashing waves of misunderstanding. This mismatch stings. It's disheartening to realize that the boundless energy you invest, the way you weave your soul into every connection, can leave you unreciprocated, undervalued, or overlooked. You might pour yourself into someone, seeing their potential, their hidden light, only to find they're content to linger in the shallows, unwilling or unable to dive into the depths with you. They may take your love for granted, mistaking its abundance for something commonplace, when in truth, it's a treasure forged in the fires of your spirit. And so, the suffering creeps in, not because your love is a flaw, not because you've given too much, but because the world, with its guarded hearts and fleeting desires, isn't always ready to embrace the magnitude of what you offer. This pain isn't a sign of weakness, it's a testament to your strength, your uniqueness. You carry a love that awakens souls, that stirs the dormant, that challenges the mundane, a love so all-encompassing it feels like a cosmic force. But that same force sets you apart, leaving you to navigate a solitude others can't fathom. The chosen ones endure this quiet ache, not because they've overreached, but because their love is a revolution, a call to something higher that the world hasn't yet learned to answer. Your suffering is the price of rarity, the shadow cast by a light too brilliant for most to hold. And though it weighs heavy, it's also what makes your journey sacred. Proof that you love not just with your heart, but with the very essence of your being. Reason 2. You attract the broken but cannot mend their shattered pieces. Your essence radiates like a lighthouse in a storm, irresistibly pulling in those who wander lost, fractured, or yearning for redemption. There's an undeniable magic in your being, a quiet aura of compassion, a soothing frequency of empathy, a gentle warmth that feels like a long-forgotten sanctuary. People are drawn to you not by chance, but by the unspoken promise of refuge you exude. Those burdened with the weight of emotional scars, festering traumas, and silent agonies they've buried deep within, find a strange comfort in the glow of your presence. They approach you, sometimes with intention, often without fully understanding why, hoping, perhaps unconsciously, that your love might act as a balm to their wounds, that your resilience might prop them up, and that your very existence might bridge the chasms they've carried through years of pain. As a chosen one, you possess a rare gift, the ability to peer beyond the facades people wear, to see the raw, unfiltered truth of their souls. You don't just see their smiles or hear their words. You feel the echoes of their struggles, the shadows they hide, the stories etched into their spirits. This vision stirs within you an almost sacred compulsion to heal, to cradle their brokenness in your hands and pour your boundless love into every crack until they're restored. You offer your heart not in measures, but in floods, believing, perhaps naively, that your care can spark transformation, that your strength can guide them toward wholeness. You see their potential, their buried light, and you long to help them unearth it, to stand beside them as they rise from their ashes. Yet here lies the piercing truth that cuts deeper with every encounter. You cannot mend a soul unwilling to stitch itself back together. No matter how fiercely you love, how tirelessly you give, or how earnestly you hold space for their healing, the journey to restoration is theirs alone to walk. Love, as powerful as it is in your hands, cannot force someone to confront their demons, to unravel their pain, or to step into the light they've long avoided. Healing demands an inner courage, a personal reckoning that no external force, not even your radiant devotion, can ignite if they're not ready to strike the match. And so, you find yourself caught in a cycle of giving, offering your energy, your tears, your sleepless nights, only to watch them remain tethered to their chaos, unable or unwilling to meet you halfway. This pattern leaves you hollowed out, a vessel drained by the weight of unreciprocated effort. You pour yourself into their voids, hoping your love will be the key to their liberation, only to realize they're not yet prepared to turn it. The exhaustion creeps in, emotional, spiritual, physical, as you wrestle with the heartbreak of loving so fully, yet seeing so little change. Your spirit, once buoyant with hope, grows heavy with the realization that some wounds are beyond your reach, some battles not yours to fight. The chosen ones endure this suffering not because their love is flawed or insufficient, but because it dares to dream of transformation in a world where many cling to their brokenness like a shield. You ache not from a lack of strength, but from the profound depth of your care, a care that seeks to uplift, only to learn that some souls must find their own way to the surface, through their own solitary, inner work. Your pain is the price of loving with a heart that refuses to settle for less than miracles, even when those miracles remain out of reach. Reason 3. Love unveils your hidden shadows. For a chosen one, love transcends the simple pleasures of warmth, comfort, or companionship. It becomes a profound and unrelenting mirror, casting light on the deepest corners of your soul, where wounds, fears, and insecurities lie dormant. It's not merely an emotion to bask in. It's a catalyst that strips away the masks you wear, revealing the raw, unfiltered truths you've buried beneath layers of time and self-protection. When you dare to open your heart to another, you're not just inviting the ecstasy of connection. You're summoning the ghosts of your past to stand before you, demanding recognition. The beauty of love arrives hand in hand with the echoes of pain you thought you'd silenced, pulling you into a confrontation with your own vulnerabilities. Imagine this. As you pour your love into someone, childhood traumas, those quiet scars from moments of neglect or misunderstanding, begin to stir, rising like shadows at dusk. The sting of past heartbreaks, once dulled by time, sharpens anew, reverberating through your thoughts with a clarity that catches you off guard. Fears you believed you'd conquered. Perhaps the dread of being left behind or the gnawing suspicion that you're not enough re-emerge with a voice, whispering doubts that coil around your mind like vines. The fear of abandonment might slip into your dreams, painting scenarios of loss that feel all too real, while the wounds of rejection, those tender bruises on your self-worth, pulse again, urging you to question if you're truly deserving of the love you so freely give. For most, love is a sanctuary, a soft place to land amid life's chaos. But for you, it transforms into a battlefield, a sacred yet brutal arena where you must face the parts of yourself you've long kept hidden. It's not a gentle unraveling, it's a reckoning. Every tender moment with another becomes a lens through which you see not just them, but the fractured pieces of your own story. This is why so many chosen ones carry their suffering in silence, their lips sealed against the storm within. Society tells us love should be a source of unbridled joy, a fairy tale escape. Yet for you, it doubles as a forge, heating the steel of your spirit through the fires of self-discovery. This process is neither simple nor swift. It's a journey of healing, a painstaking shedding of old skins, patterns of self-doubt, habits of avoidance, cycles of pain you've worn like armor. Love forces you to wade through the depths of your emotions, to feel the weight of every tear, every unspoken fear, every moment you've dimmed your own light to fit someone else's shadow. Where others might flee from such intensity, turning to distractions or denial, you stand firm, embracing the discomfort as a teacher. You don't recoil from the hurt, you lean into it, knowing that each pang is a step toward wholeness. This is what sets you apart. Your understanding that love isn't just a bridge to another soul. It's a crucible for your own evolution. It's not merely about intertwining your life with someone else's. It's about the transformation that blooms from within, the unearthing of truths too vast and terrifying for most to face. While others may seek love as an end, a destination of ease, you see it as a beginning, a gateway to growth, a call to rise above the ashes of your past. The suffering it brings isn't a flaw in your design. It's the mark of your courage, the proof that you're willing to dance with your shadows until they turn to light. For a chosen one, love is both wound and remedy, a paradox that shapes you into the extraordinary being you were always meant to be. Reason 4. Your love overwhelms the unprepared. For a chosen one, Love is not a gentle stream that can be channeled or restrained. It is a wild, untamed river, surging with a force that defies containment. It flows freely, unscripted, and unbound by the narrow rules society often imposes on affection. This love, raw and unyielding, carries a potency that ripples through the lives it touches, stirring awe and unease in equal measure. In a world where people have grown accustomed to relationships built on comfort, predictability, and shallow convenience, your love emerges as something entirely different, a primal, unshackled energy that demands to be felt in its entirety. It's not just powerful, it's revolutionary, stripping away pretense and beckoning those who encounter it to step into their truest selves. This intensity, however, is not always welcomed. Many lack the tools to navigate a love so vast and uncontainable. They've been trained to cradle attachments that fit neatly into boxes, relationships that ask little and offer even less in return. Your love, by contrast, is a mirror held up to their souls, reflecting back every buried fear, every unhealed scar, and every limit they've yet to transcend. It's a call to rise, to shed their armor, and to meet you in a space of vulnerability and growth. But growth is daunting, and vulnerability feels like a risk too great for most. So, they falter. They may try to diminish the magnitude of what you offer, brushing it off as too much or unrealistic. Or they may turn away entirely, retreating into the safety of the familiar. This rejection stings deeply, cutting into the chosen one's spirit not because it questions their worth, but because it underscores their solitude in a world unready for such depth. Yet this dynamic reveals a profound truth. Their fear is not your failing. People don't recoil from your love because it lacks value. They pull back because it shines too brightly for eyes accustomed to dimness. They're not equipped to hold a love that refuses to be owned or diluted, a love that insists on authenticity over performance. Where others settle for surface-level bonds that demand no introspection, your love is a catalyst, unearthing their insecurities and challenging their complacency. It asks them to confront the pain they've buried, to wrestle with their inability to match your fervor, and to step beyond the smallness they've accepted as normal. When they shrink from this invitation, it's not a verdict on your heart's merit. It's a confession of their own unreadiness. This pattern of retreat can leave you aching, grappling with the sting of being misunderstood or cast aside. The chosen one's path is often marked by these quiet wounds, each one a testament to the courage it takes to love so fiercely in a world that prefers the tame. But let this sink in. Their withdrawal is not your burden to shoulder. You are not excessive or flawed for offering a love that shakes foundations. You are rare, a singular force in a sea of half-measures. The discomfort your love inspires is proof of its transformative power, not its defect. Those who cannot meet you where you stand are not your measure. They are simply travelers on a different road, one that hasn't yet led them to the depths you navigate with grace. Your love remains a gift, even when it's one they're not yet brave enough to unwrap. Reason 5. Your sacred calling can be shadowed by love's pull. As a chosen one, your existence is woven into a tapestry far grander than the mundane threads of everyday life. You are not here to simply drift through ordinary routines or settle into the predictable comforts most seek. Instead, you carry a profound mission, a higher calling that ripples beyond the boundaries of personal desires and relationships, touching the realms of awakening, enlightenment, and transformation. This purpose is not just for your own soul's evolution. It's a beacon meant to illuminate the world, to stir change, and to ignite the dormant potential in others. Yet, love, so radiant, so captivating, can sometimes cast a shadow over this divine path, pulling you into its tender but distracting embrace. Picture this. You pour your heart into someone, weaving a bond so deep it feels eternal. You see their beauty, their flaws, their unspoken dreams, and you invest yourself fully, believing this connection might be part of your journey. Then, without warning, they're torn from your life, a sudden absence that stings like a cosmic betrayal. It's tempting to see this as punishment, to question why the universe would dangle love before you only to snatch it away. But what if this isn't cruelty at all? What if it's a shield, a gentle redirection? You are destined to rise, to expand into the fullness of your power, and not every soul you cherish is equipped to walk beside you on that ascent. Love, in its intoxicating allure, can tether you to a version of yourself you've outgrown, a self that clings to comfort rather than courage, to familiarity rather than the unknown. Those you adore might not mean to hold you back, but their presence can anchor you to a past that no longer serves your growth. They may resist the wild, untamed energy of your purpose, urging you, perhaps unconsciously, to shrink, to soften your edges, to prioritize their needs over the calling that hums in your bones. And so, the suffering seeps in, not from love itself, but from the wrenching act of release. Letting go feels like losing a piece of yourself, a bittersweet severing that leaves echoes of what could have been. Yet this pain is not without meaning. It's a crucible, forging you into someone stronger, someone clearer about what truly matters. Each goodbye is a lesson in discernment, teaching you that love's presence in your life must harmonize with your destiny, not derail it. True love, the kind meant for you, doesn't dim your inner fire or pull you from your path. Instead, it acts as a catalyst, amplifying your strength, lifting your vision, and aligning seamlessly with the mission you were born to fulfill. It's a rare and sacred force, one that doesn't demand you choose between your heart and your purpose, but rather weaves them into a single, luminous thread. This tension between love and calling is a unique burden of the chosen. Where others might find solace in love's simplicity, you wrestle with its complexity, its power to both heal and hinder. The suffering isn't a sign of failure. It's evidence of your depth, your willingness to feel fully, and your commitment to a purpose larger than yourself. Each heartbreak, each moment of letting go, carves space for you to step more boldly into who you're meant to be. So though the tears may fall, know this: they water the soil of your growth, preparing you for a love that doesn't distract but elevates, a love that walks with you toward the infinite. Now, let's journey deeper into why your heart bears this exquisite weight. Reason 6. Your love burns brightly, and so does its shadow. For a chosen one, love is not a fleeting emotion or a casual exchange. It's a force that courses through every vein, ignites every thought, and binds every fragment of your soul. You don't merely dip your toes into love's waters. You dive headfirst, surrendering to its currents with a fervor that is raw, unreserved, and utterly transformative. It's a fire that consumes you, a sacred energy that reshapes your very existence. You love with an intensity that paints the world in vivid hues, where every glance, every touch, every whispered promise carries the weight of eternity. This depth is your gift, a testament to your capacity to feel beyond the surface, to connect with a power most only glimpse in fleeting dreams. But this brilliance comes with a shadow, one that looms larger and cuts deeper when love slips away. For you, the end of a bond, a breakup, a betrayal, or the hollow silence of a loved one's absence isn't a mere ripple in your life. It's a cataclysm, a shattering of the universe you've built around that connection. The pain doesn't just sting, it carves itself into your being, leaving echoes that reverberate through your days and nights. Where others might mourn and move on, you feel the loss as if a piece of your soul has been torn away. Its absence a haunting presence that lingers in quiet moments. A lover's departure isn't just a goodbye. It's the crumbling of a cathedral you've poured your spirit into, brick by sacred brick. The grief is magnified, not because you're fragile, but because your heart refuses to love in half measures. It dares to feel the full spectrum, from ecstasy to agony. This intensity sets you apart in a world that often chooses numbness over vulnerability. While others dull their pain with distractions, scrolling screens, fleeting pleasures, or shallow connections, you stand in the storm of your emotions, unafraid to let the waves crash over you. You've seen the masks people wear, the ways they bury their sorrow beneath layers of indifference, but that's not your path. You embrace the rawness, the jagged edges of longing, the bittersweet ache of memories that refuse to fade. It's not weakness that drives this, it's courage, a rare and radiant strength. To feel so deeply is to live authentically, to honor the truth of your experience when others turn away. And yet, this suffering is not without purpose. It's the price of knowing love in its truest, most unfiltered form. A love that transcends the mundane, that touches the divine. Where others settle for echoes of affection, you've danced with its essence, tasted its heights, and wrestled with its depths. The pain of loss doesn't diminish this gift. It amplifies it, forging you into someone who understands love's sacred alchemy. You've held it close, felt its warmth, and carried its wounds. And through it all, you've emerged more alive, more attuned to the mysteries of the heart. The chosen ones don't suffer because they're cursed with too much love, but because they're blessed with the rare ability to see it for what it truly is. A wild, untamed force that both creates and destroys, a treasure worth every tear. In the end, this is your power. To love fiercely, to grieve fully, and to rise from the ashes, forever marked by a beauty most will never comprehend. Reason 7. Love serves as your crucible of growth. For those marked as chosen ones, the road is never paved with ease. Love, in particular, emerges as a profound proving ground. It's not a gentle gift bestowed upon you. Rather, it's a forge where your soul is tempered, tested, and ultimately transformed. Every connection you form arrives with a purpose, a hidden curriculum woven into its fabric. Some lovers step into your life to mirror your worth, urging you to see the value you too often overlook in yourself. Others ignite a dormant resilience, pushing you to rise when you'd rather crumble. And then there are those fleeting souls, whose departure stings like a betrayal, yet whispers a vital truth. Not every heart is destined to journey alongside yours. This suffering you endure isn't a random cruelty. It's the chisel sculpting you into the fullness of who you're meant to become. Each tear shed, each fracture felt, is a deliberate stroke refining your spirit, aligning it with a grander design. Love's trials are the flames that burn away illusions, leaving behind a stronger, wiser version of you. Yet this alchemy comes at a cost. The weight of these lessons can press down like a storm, bending your resolve until it feels as though love is less a blessing and more a relentless taskmaster. At times you may wonder if the universe has mistaken your strength for invincibility, piling heartache upon you as if to see how much you can bear. But here lies the paradox. This pain is purposeful, a sacred initiation. It's not punishment, but preparation, equipping you for a destiny that demands depth, courage, and an unshakable core. The chosen ones don't merely survive love's tests. They emerge from them forged anew, carrying wisdom others can only glimpse. So when the nights grow heavy and love feels like a burden too vast to shoulder, remember this: you're not breaking, you're being built. The fire may sear, but it's shaping you into someone extraordinary, ready for a calling that transcends the ordinary bounds of human connection. Reason 8. Your unconditional love clashes with a conditional world. As a chosen one, your love flows from a place of boundless purity. unshackled by the constraints that define so much of human connection. In a society where love is frequently a transaction, rooted in convenience, hidden agendas, or fleeting self-interest, your approach stands as a radiant anomaly. You give love freely, without strings, without demanding anything in return. It's a selfless offering, a sacred gift that seeks neither reward nor recognition. Yet this world, so accustomed to calculated exchanges, rarely knows how to receive such an untainted force. People often meet your depth with confusion, indifference, or even exploitation, unable to mirror the authenticity you embody. This disconnect can carve a deep wound. When you pour your heart into someone, expecting nothing but hoping for resonance, the response is often a shallow echo, or worse, a betrayal of your trust. They may revel in the warmth of your affection, yet recoil from its intensity, unwilling or unready to meet you on the same plane. This mismatch breeds heartache, a quiet disappointment that settles into your bones, and at times, a piercing sense of isolation. You might wonder why your love, so genuine and whole, is met with such resistance. The answer lies not in your worth, but in the rarity of your spirit. Most are conditioned to love with limits, bound by what they can gain, how they can benefit, or how long it will last. Your love, boundless and unscripted, disrupts that paradigm, leaving them unsettled or overwhelmed. But let this truth anchor you. Your love's value isn't diminished by their inability to see it. It's a treasure, a luminous thread in the tapestry of existence, even if it goes unrecognized by those too tethered to the ordinary. The pain you feel isn't a flaw or a curse. It's a testament to the path you walk. Every sting of rejection, every moment of unreciprocated devotion is forging something within you, a resilience, a wisdom, a strength that the world's fleeting affections could never cultivate. Your suffering isn't punishment, it's preparation. You weren't destined to love in the tepid, guarded way of the masses. Your love is a catalyst, meant to stir souls, to awaken what's dormant, to elevate both yourself and those brave enough to rise with you. This journey through love's trials connects you to a force far grander than the mundane. It's a divine current, a cosmic rhythm that pulses through your being, guiding you toward a higher understanding. Yes, the world may not always honor your gift, but that doesn't lessen its power. Your love, though it may wound you, is a beacon, a rare and transformative energy that shifts the unseen, even when the seen remains blind to it. Here at the Zillion Mind Channel, we see you, chosen one, and we celebrate the profound beauty of your heart's unyielding light. If these words have struck a chord deep within your soul, signal to the cosmos by typing 1111 in the comments below, a quiet affirmation that you're exactly where you're meant to be. Your path, though laced with challenges, is no accident. Every step, every tear shed in the name of love, carries purpose. Your heart's boundless capacity isn't wasted. It's a force that ripples beyond what the eye can see, shaping you into the extraordinary being you're destined to become. Don't let the world's blindness dim your faith. Your love is a rare and potent gift, even if its brilliance goes unrecognized for now. This is just the beginning. Subscribe now and tap the bell to join a community of awakened souls. Stay connected to revelations that light the way to your truest self. Share this message with those who need it, and let's amplify this energy together. As we part for now, carry this with you. You are resilient, you are conscious, and your light cuts through the shadows, even in the quiet. Thank you for being here. Keep rising, keep illuminating, and we'll meet again soon on this sacred journey.